Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'm going to go into more in depth of my little toddler den that I did. I get a lot of questions all the time. Like, my video has like 1.6 million views on TikTok at the moment and about 250,000 here on YouTube. And I get so many questions about it, so I thought I'd do a more in-depth version because it's really hard to fit in and say everything in 1 minute because you only get 1 minute in a short. So the first thing I do is create the platform area for where the bed's going to go. And the bed has to be on a platform, it can't be just floating because your sim won't be able to walk across the area. So I've created this area here, which I'm going to raise up in a second. And you can make this bit as big as you like, but that's the bit that your toddler won't be able to access under. But it needs to be able to have the bed on it and the area for your sim to, your toddler to walk up on as well. So I found that the 2x2 was the smallest I could get it. And then I'm just going to do another 2x2, and that's going to be the size of my little den area, or as a lot of people were calling it, a cage. But that's the little den area. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want, but I want it this size. Just raise up this area, and a lot of people thought you use this. This is the foundation tool. You don't want to use this. This will raise the whole house up. You want to use the platform tool. So you just click this little arrow here. I believe if you have the legacy version of The Sims, you don't have platforms, and there is no other way to do this, I'm afraid. So yeah, then you just want to go ahead and grab your toddler bed. I'm going to use this one from Eco Lifestyle, which, because this one has this on the top, you do have to have the slightly taller wall, but if it doesn't have this on it, you can do it at the short wall height and it's fine. Next thing I recommend doing is decorating this area in here. I'm not going to decorate it, but you can put anything in there as long as it's not too tall. I'm going to stick through the floor, and then we're going to go to the doors section, and if you have cats and dogs, we're going to use the cats and dogs door, which is just in the normal door section on the small wall height, and there's two different doors. There is this one, but these are the two you can use. You can see this one's a little bit taller, so it does clip through the wall. You can make this wall taller, but I found this is the shortest you can have it because this door needs to be able to fit on it and not clip through. Like I said, if you're using this one, you most probably need a taller wall height. Go ahead and add your stairs in. Toddlers can walk up the stairs. It does take a little bit of time, but they can walk up the stairs. And a lot of people were saying, like, how do you get them small? If you put your stairs to a platform, they automatically go small, like that. So as well, you can place your door any area on these 4 pieces here. You can put it in the center if you want, but it has to be on this side, opposite the platform. What we're going to go ahead and do is the basement trick, which I've discussed before in videos, and just make a basement exactly the same size as the area. So the basement tool is down here at the bottom, and you can just like drag like this. You can see the area, and it just makes a basement down there. And so when you go a page down, there's your basement. And the first thing I always like to do in the basement is add lights. This is because whatever items you put in the basement are going to be really dark, so you just put lights in there and it brightens them up. Right, now there's a few different ways that you can create the sort of roof slash floor of this area on here to cover the den, and I'll show you a couple of the different ways. So yeah, you need bb.move objects on for this, as well as like all of the other cheats like bb.show hidden objects and show live edit objects, and then you'll have debug. I've got a video on how to do access debug if you need it, and what is best to do is, if you have the Eco Lifestyle, is actually filter it. So come down here and filter it, otherwise it's really difficult to find because you'll have to look through all the packs that you own. I've gone on to debug and I need live edit. I do have a mod which helps me, so it puts my debug and live edit here instead of typing it in, so that's why it's a bit easier for me to find things. So it is this item here, and debug items don't have names. Mine looks like it's named here, but that's again because of the mod. It names stuff, but debug items are just called debug. That's why when you type debug in the search bar, when you put the cheats in, it will pop up. So the reason I use this is because it's nice and big, and you only need 2 to cover the full area. So I usually raise this up so you can see where it's sitting on top of the wall here, and then I think it's 12 times. And if you don't know how to raise items, It's either 9 or Control 9 or Alt 9. Depends on your PC, what settings you have on the Sims. I have the Sims 3 camera and I just have to use the 9 key. So once I've hit on the top here, I'm going to raise it up 12 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And just place that there and just check it. Yep, that's in the right position. The reason we are putting this in the basement and not just placing this like in here and raising it up here is because your Sim won't be able to access the floor. It sort of acts like there's an object in the way, whereas if the item is in the basement, it tricks the Sim because it's in the basement and it just looks like it's there. So again, we have to do the same for here because your Sim won't be able to get in the toddler den if it's not in the basement. So again, just go into the basement, raise it to the I mean, you don't have to raise it to the top now to figure it out because you can just match it up with the other one. So I really like this item, but the problem is with the item, you are stuck with this colour. You can't change the colour or anything. I mean, you could use this thing from Eco Lifestyle, but I don't think it'd make sense. And rugs don't work, I'm afraid. So this is just the basics, and if you want to put anything on this side, it won't be usable because you can't be able to access it from your Sim. And you also can't just put anything up here and raise it up, like you couldn't say do this, because your Sim thinks it's in the way in the den. So you still have to do the same thing of putting it down in the basement and raising it up till it sits on top there. So like that. So you can place it on and it'll just be there for looks. Your Sim won't be able to access it because they can't walk on this side. So if you don't have Eco Lifestyle, the other ways you can do it is using shelves. If you just grab the Immaculate shelf, and what we're going to go ahead and do is go into the basement. And this one clips a little bit into each other, but I can't figure out another way to do it if you want to use shelves. You're going to place it in the basement and you're going to raise it to the top by, like, you can just pull it up with your mouse, that's not using the 9 key or anything, and then just raise it up. I don't know if it'll be 12 or 13 for the shelves. Let's try 13. See, it's 13 for the shelves. So then all you do, because there's a gap on that side, is go to the other side and do exactly the same thing, size it up, which is using the square bracket keys if you don't know, and drag that to the top. And just line it up, and like I said, you're going to get a little bit of glitching with this because of the slight overlap, but the good thing is with this, you can select your colour. If you had tool mod, you could stop the glitching, but what you would do is turn tool mod on and just select it and just elevate one side by like 0.01, so it's slightly higher, but if you see, it does stops that weird glitching, but that's only if you have tool mod. I don't like to use tool mod for my tutorials, so I like to give people other options. So if we get the slab from Spade, and we're going to raise this up to the top, and we're going to raise this up 10 times. And this one's going to be my guide. Is that high enough? I don't think that's high enough. Maybe need it 11 times. Oops. Yeah, 11 times. I'm just going to move the bed. That looks right. And then you just have to fill in the rest exactly the same way. So now you don't have to count, you can just line it up. So with this one, it looks like we're going to have to do some changing, maybe this way. That's sticking through the wall. So there, this way is a bit more fiddly, but it can be done, and you just do the same for all of the rest. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Also, if you wanted to do this on the second story, you can. You still raise stuff from the basement, but you are going to have to raise it so much more. And also, if your house is on a foundation, you're going to have to raise it more. So it sometimes will take a bit of trial and error. So it is a lot of work. But if it's something you want to do, the option is there. I know a lot of people don't like doing stuff for toddlers because they're a pain in the Sims. But some people just like designing stuff like myself. Like, I don't actually know if toddlers are a pain because I never actually play the game. I just design stuff. It's what I enjoy doing. So the option is there for people. So I hope this video helped some of you guys out there and answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comments down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible if I'm not at work or anything. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!